We have something exciting we're going to do this morning. We're going to do a baptism. And that, you guys can sit down. I'm so sorry. You guys can go ahead and sit down. So, I just wanted to share with you what is baptism. But maybe we should start with what it's not. It's not anything magical. It's not salvation. There's no supernatural powers in the water. It's just regular water and regular people. So, why do it? There's a couple of reasons. One is we baptize to identify with Jesus. Jesus himself was baptized. We see this in Matthew 3:13 through 17. Then Jesus arrived from Galilee at the Jordan, coming to John to be baptized by him. But John tried to prevent him, saying, I have need to be baptized by you, and do you come to me? But Jesus answered, said to him, permit it at this time, for in this way it is fitting for us to fulfill all righteousness. Then he permitted him. After being baptized, Jesus came up immediately from the water, and behold, the Spirit of God descending as a dove and lighting on him. And behold, a voice out of the heavens said, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. The second reason that we baptize is because before Jesus ascended from earth, one of the last things that he said was a command to baptize. Matthew 28:19 through 20. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. See, baptism is an outward representation of something that's already happened in our hearts. When you accept Christ as your Savior and Lord of your life, you want to tell people of the decision you made. And baptism is a good way to do just that. Today, Jacob is testifying to all of you here today that he is God's child, and in his heart, he has chosen to follow Jesus. We choose immersion in water because it symbolizes what Jesus did to save us. When he is lowered into the water, it is a symbol of Jesus' death. When he is lowered into the water, it symbolizes Jesus' death. Once fully submerged under the water, it is a symbol of Jesus' burial. And then coming up out of the water symbolizes Jesus' resurrection. It is a way to identify with him and to publicly proclaim Jacob's choice to believe and follow him. If you have any questions about baptism or becoming a child of God, we welcome your questions. Please come talk to Mitch. Joe is in the back. Greg is here today. You could even talk to me. If we don't know the answer, we would be thrilled to find out the answer together with you. But if you're too shy to ask us directly, there are connect cards in the seat back chairs. You can fill one of those out, put it in the box in the back, and that would provide us with whatever contact information you are comfortable with, and we can start a dialogue with you, answer some of your questions. So without further ado, I think Jacob's going to come and share his testimony with us today.
Hi, thank you for being here. So I realized it last night that it was 10 years ago to this season. In the 17th summer of my life, I was experiencing a period of depression, and I could find some solace in walking, so I would do that a lot. And one night I looked into the sky, and there were a bunch of lights, and they were really far away according to what I had learned. And it never dawned on me the scale and the scope of this world, how far away that thing was so far away that it could have been eons ago, potentially that it was emitted, the star could be dead, but it was reaching me. And it made me wonder how bright that star could be. It made me wonder what I'm doing here as a infantile, small, just, everything's working out. All these planets and stars and the Goldilocks zone of the universe, just perfect for us to live here. And it made me wonder what I was here for. And it made me wonder how such a thing could be. It's perfect. It's intricate, and it's intelligently designed. And I didn't know it then, but that was when I really dedicated myself to God in the form of truth. I found a lot of really beautiful places and things that I studied, and trying to find these answers, it was I could be satisfied by nothing. There was nothing that could really get me to click with this is how it is. I found answers that worked. I came to know that living as a full expression of your soul, embodied in this form as we are now, is something that we're all capable of, that it's the highest degree of living is possible for all of us, and that's not exactly how culture just sells it to you or tells you how it is, and every culture is different and beautiful. And I was never really confused with that, but I still was looking for answers, and I found that I really just wanted to be happy in a way that was real. Didn't really require a big house or fast car or something, but I needed to be me. I needed to be at peace, and I needed to feel loving and loved, and have an understanding. Maybe that's frivolous or luxurious, but for me it was really, I could not be satisfied without some kind of answer. And it brought me, to a lot of different ideas and people and places, and got me my college degree and my career, and I'm really grateful for all these things, but I never really knew that. I knew that God was what I was looking for. I sort of knew this, but I objectified God. I didn't really see the person for the person, and God was a state to attain, or an energy to align with, or an understanding to cultivate and have. But in these 10 years, it's been only 1 year or a couple months since I actually was able to call him by name and understand this and see, like, whoa, he's got a couple books written about him, read about it, and see that this big, scary, puts balls of fire in the sky to keep us warm and entertained, that this same person came to Earth, which is baffling to me, that literal, absolute, infinite, and then some, incarnated in like something that spits and chokes and gets injured, and God came here, and what he did as an expression of himself was heal people. Just took them and like hacked the system, the game, and just like wounds would disappear and people would see in all the ways which they can. And I've always thought that utopia is what we can have and what this life should be, and how this earth can be if we stopped with all the greed and violence and negative stuff, for lack of better terms, and easier said than done. But I found that there's somebody who is working towards those things, and all the things that we have, which we express, which bring that world into being, are him. And this has really been just wild, that I could have a personal relationship with God, and that he was always there, and I was never without him. I could see him in all these places in my life, but I guess I just never listened. I never went below the surface. And then I started to come here, and I started to consider such a thing, and it really just cracked my world open, gave me the strength to keep my heart open even when it's difficult, and it's been helping me to become more of myself. This is something that we're all capable of. This is something we all deserve, and that we're all looking for in one way or another. We're all trying to live to the highest degree, and to me that meant God. And so I'm very grateful to take one more step further. When he came here, he was able to speak, and he was able to, well, not use English, but these days we have some pretty amazing connectivity within our world, so we're able to hear what he said and imagine what it might be like with our own ears. And I'm just eternally grateful for those things, and I don't know how to express it. I went back and forth with Mitch about, like, yeah, this is between me and God, so what are you all doing here? But if I'm very grateful to have a community of us that are engaged with the same thing, whether we know it or not, whether we like it or not. It's how it is. At least that's how I'm starting to see it, or at least how I've seen it in my own life. Yeah, I don't know. I'm usually a wordy person. It's dangerous to give me a mic in 5 minutes. But yeah, maybe that's the cue. But thank you. Thank you all for being here for such a happy moment in my life.
Good morning. I don't really know how to follow that, Jacob. Jacob is, he's been a friend for, I don't know if it's been a year now. We started playing at game nights. I came on Fridays. We went axe throwing on March 5th of this year. We had some amazing conversations in the parking lot at the axe throwing place that really opened my eyes to see where Jacob was at and just the way he was thinking and the depth of his thought, and that he was truly searching for truth and answers. And we've been able to have many more conversations after that. We've been able to go to a men's retreat together where I think Jacob just continued to express how he sees that Jesus has always been there with him. You know, when you can reflect and look back on your life, sometimes it's easier. When you're in the moment, sometimes it's really hard to see how Jesus is working. When you can sit back for a second and think about the ways and the people that he's brought in and out of your life, it really just proves again that God's timing is perfect. His plan is perfect. We got to trust the plan. I love my brother. He's a great guy. I love his desire to find truth and his desire to seek out that truth and that all that seeking and all that searching found you Jesus. That's amazing. So I'm so grateful that you are a new covenant man, that you are a beloved son of the Father. Thank you.